Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. Want to help you get your mojo back. And this is, oh, sorry, wrong, it's backwards. Uranus. You see that? And it has 17 moons, the seventh planet from the sun. It's called an ice giant, and it's huge. And it is the planet that was discovered by William Herschel in 1731, I think it was, March 13th, 1781. I think that's it. And yeah, 1781. Anyway, this is the celestial sphere that was assigned to Aquarius. And today we're going to be looking at Aquarius through the signs. The sun is now in the sign of Aquarius, where actually it's not. It will be, but when it is, I do so many things in advance, I forget what day it is. Okay. Today is January 9th. We're still in Capricorn. But when the sun enters into Aquarius, thank you for letting me clear my mental throat. Here's what we're going to expect for each of the signs. But before we do that, I just want us to have a collective moment of healing for California. It's closer to home for some. And imagining, if you will, that you collectively have the power to put a dampening blanket over the fires and or to minimize the wind. We're having massive windstorms here in Arizona. I see my things flying across my backyard as I'm talking. It's within our ability to move energy. We are celestial, eternal, sentient beings. We are extensions of light. And a lot of times we think, oh, we have a body and in our body is our soul. It's actually scientifically shown that the electromagnetic energy that we are is everywhere all the time. We have chosen a form that can inhabit this planet. So the body is in the soul. Ponder that. That would be an Aquarian thought and or concept, and it's now being shown scientifically. Isn't that awesome? So we have a lot more power to adapt to our surroundings and also to minimize any kind of trauma. So yeah, we can change the weather. Let's do it collectively. Let's just have 10 seconds of concentrated energy put over California, where we see a calming blanket filled with love to support all the wildlife, the people, the houses. Surrounded by love. Thank you. Thank you for cooperating with the cosmos. Now, when we talk about Uranus, this is a screen that has to go backwards. Thank you for being here, by the way. When we talk about Uranus, it is the only planet that has an axis, AXIS, where its rings rotate this way and its poles face the sun when it rotates. It's unusual. It's the only planet that does that. You know, Saturn does this. All the other planets do this. Uranus it's on a tilted axis, so it goes that way. Yeah. And so when we look at Aquarius, we are looking at the energy of Uranus, and that is how it's pronounced. Uranus, Greek word urano, meaning the cosmos. So what does it look like for each of the signs? Well, let's take a look at that right away. Okay, we're going to start in the general charts. And remember that you're the one in control of your world, so that anything that's happening astrologically is just a lens. You are the one with the power. You're the one with the patterns, the power, the wherewithal, the conscious, unconscious, subconscious self. You're the one with the initiation, the momentum. But the planets represent different parts of us through the lens of astrology. And Uranus is about freedom. It's about humanitarianism. It's about being eclectic, unusual, the rebel. It's also about, I would say, and I like to call it, Uranus is the energy that created bondage and then created the bolt cutter. So, where can you apply science, technology, astrology, unique perspectives to your world? When the sun enters Uranus on the 19th, depending on where you are in the world, but January 19th, we're going to look at, generally speaking, in your chart, it may be different, but generally speaking, Aries sun, Aries rising. We're going to be looking at the 11th house with community, friendships, groups, associations, elders as well, dreams coming true. And the keywords for the sun in Aquarius transiting over that part of the zodiac chart is for innovation with groups, revolutionary ideas. I don't mean to take up arms and protect the castle, unless you're in that part of the world that needs to do that. But generally speaking, we are looking at, I have to come up with a different solution, and so it's unconventional. And it lends toward collaboration. So how can you collaborate with people? How can you network? How could you create this particular vision that creates a social impact for freedom, for innovation? And the topics, again, can be groups, friends, peers, associates, also elders. That's the 11th house. And also the finances that you have. Maybe it's a group financial team you put together, or a club that deals with, electronic equipment, technology, science, astrology, and impacting others. I just saw online today for Sedona to get together for people who wanted to and make blankets for people in the world who need them. That's what I'm talking about. It could be that simple. You don't have to, be out there inventing machinery or scientific concepts to help free a people on this planet. So we're going to move on to Taurus. Oh, I have to go over here. I was pointing, but the wrong thing. There we go. There's Taurus. It's going to impact the 10th house of career in the general charts. And it's also the public image, your legacy, yes, but it can be about retirement. It can be about the direction ahead for you, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. And the keywords here are achievement, ambition, responsibility to your public if you have an audience. It's also going to be about disruption. Like I said earlier, talking about what the soul looks like to most people, and it's taught through many, many thousands of years of beliefs that you are born, the soul is inside of you, and you go about your life. Well, I'm a Taurus, and I'm throwing it out there that the electromagnetic field that you have in and around you is showing that you are a body within the soul. A different way to look at it. So it can also be about leadership and purpose. What do you want to do, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon? Are you feeling like you need to switch it up? And if not, retire. Maybe you want to go part-time. Maybe you're looking at, how do I get my work, help, assistance out into the world? Who do I talk to? I need to go to the higher ups. I'm going straight to the top. I'm not going to, wait around any longer. I've wasted time. I am going to put myself out there. I know someone who is going to do an art show that is going to be in front of 40,000 people. That's huge. And they are an Aquarius rising sign. So they're a Taurus. So they're like, what if it doesn't work? We don't know till we do it. Trust before it happens. Before we move on, I'm doing timestamps, so forgive me if you're watching this in YouTube. Give me a hot second to actually do the timestamps so you can go right to your sun, rising, and moon sign. Taurus, one more thing about the reinvention. And that is what the sun in Aquarius is mirroring back to you. Time for that exploration on the inside. Gemini, ninth house, talk about exploration and philosophy. Ninth house is all about, what do I believe? My higher self. What do I believe? I want to change my philosophy. I have to change the way I think. I have to incorporate something, and it might include travel. You might get that itch. It's about higher learning. You may be taking a training course or giving one or creating something that speaks to other people in a way that uplifts their minds. And it can be through the law, ninth house. It can be through contracts, legal matters, education, higher learning. It can be through spiritual or religious adaptation of ideology so that you can then reformulate what you think. Could be travel. You start to just put the stuff down, the suitcase goes down, and you get out of the house and you're everywhere, because you're learning about different things, how you feel, what you believe. And so this transformation can lend itself to greater wisdom, Gemini. It can also look like you're liberating your mind through the expansion and wanderlust. Yeah. It's like you want to get out of town every 20 minutes. But new perspectives are there, and you can benefit by utilizing specific types of marketing, perhaps AI. It's not evil. Anytime there's a new invention in the world, we went from horses to bicycles, and then from bicycles to cars. How many people, stuck in their old ways are like, no, it's evil. It's the devil's work. No, but people will take people with a low vibration who cause harm, will take whatever is available to them to use it as a platform. So when we think of AI, let's think of greater knowledge. I use it for research, not just for astrology, not too much, because I'm training it to understand what astrology means, because it's not human. But I am looking when I write my historical fiction fantasy books, I want to know, in the 9th century, how did they wash their clothes? In Europe, who did they go to when they were sick? What kind of herbs did they use? So it's a great resource to have, but I always back it up, since it's a learning process, and it is learning. AI is learning how to adapt and to gather information. So Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon, don't be too afraid of using AI in your marketing and learning how it works so that it can work for you. It's a great buddy to have, an assistant to help you put chatbots on your websites, to help you save time and money. Okay, moving on. Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. All right, we are looking at the 8th house for you with the Sun in Aquarius. This is all about transformation, shared resources. And that can mean with an accountant, with a bank, a credit union, with an insurance company. It may be that you're looking to upgrade any one of those topics. It also deals with estate planning. So you want to make sure, and please look into Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Look into living trusts instead of wills, because a will has to go through probate. And how many more fingers from the government do you want in your business? That's my question. That's what my husband's a Cancer, and we already have done our estate planning, and we upgrade it every few years. So just double check that. Mysteries. Also the taxes too. Where can you get a better break? Or are you in a different tax bracket now? Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Okay. So the gateway mysteries is about healing. So if there's a trauma in your past, when the Sun is in Aquarius, and it happens every year, same time every year, you open a different door spiritually. Maybe you start to meditate. Maybe you have a realization in your dreams. Maybe you take a course that has to do with developing your intuition. Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Maybe it's about empowering yourself after a traumatic childhood and saying, I keep telling the same narrative. I need to change my story, because if I don't change my story, I don't change my vibration. Remember, everything is energy. And if I don't change my vibe, what am I going to attract to me? You have to change the vibration, not just the thoughts. The thoughts have a vibration. And so you bring things to you by what you're thinking, because it creates a vibration. So thoughts and emotions kind of are coupled together. Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. So how do you want to, I said move. Faux pas? I don't think so. A little slip? Mm-mm. How do you want to move? And this is also about sexual healing, and it doesn't have to be about sex. It can be maybe you were, you know, alone for many years and you figure, I'm 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. Why bother? Well, that's an energetic frequency as well. So if we don't move that energy, we can feel debilitated. We can feel frustrated. So if it's not that, it could be about your taxes. It could be the gateway is about connecting to your spiritual higher inner being. So I always recommend meditation. And I will throw out there Joe Dispenza as well, because the type of breathing exercises that are done can take you to a whole new plane of existence in 10 minutes. Something to consider, because you really want to release the past. And that translates into how do I attract abundance? That would get your attention. Okay, Leo, sun, rising, and moon. Aquarius is considered your opposite in astrology. So this is all about seventh house relationships. Now, this is the general chart. So in your specific chart, it may be in a different house, and the whole consideration of who you are when in a relationship, who you are because you choose not to be in a relationship, is coming up for some attention. So what are your partnerships like? They don't have to be romantic. They could be your clients. They can be people you work with. They can be your fan base if you are a public figure, or you have some kind of gathering that comes and you're the leader. Leos make great leaders. And the energy of it too is all about the cooperation between the two. So if you're having a difficult time in relationships right now, business or romantic, we want to look at what is the alliance based on? Where is your independence in this? And where is the dependence in this relationship? And why is it there? So that harkens back to when you were a child. Everything will. And are you repeating the past? Are you living the same thing? Did your parents go through the same thing, whether it was with each other or with clients or employees or employers? So you want to look at a more progressive way of collaborating and a more progressive way of having a connection, and then committed to that connection. And if you're in something unhealthy or toxic, instead of complaining about where you are, let's start looking for solutions, because this is the time of innovation. It's about getting out of your own way by stepping past your mind that keeps circling back to, oh, but I can't. It doesn't work that way. Everything's shutting down. This is the problem. They're the problem. It's not working. So please think about not you so much solving the problem, but you making space for the answer. This is a collaboration. Spirit first. Let spirit come through. Passed on loved ones, your star seed, all types of supportive energies can come to you now. So when you think that my needs are met, I am supported by this cosmos, I am supported by my higher inner being. Wow, you get a flyer in the mail, you get an email, you get a friend, or you overhear a conversation about, oh yeah, I had this really good attorney or counselor or whatever. And you're like, oh, let me explore that. All right, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, time for progression. All right, Virgo. Okay, we are looking at the 6th house in the general charts for the sun and Aquarius for you. And the 6th house deals with pets, work, health, your daily routines, community, and service. And so let's educate ourselves on how can we start with, let's say, if you're an employee or even an employer, how can we alter the daily agenda? Start weekly meetings with your group, with your team. How can we solve the problem from a different perspective? And this has a lot to do with moving stuff. Okay. And when I say moving stuff, if you've got clutter on your desk, in your closet at work or at home, if you work at home, uh, it's time to move the energy, clear out the clutter, clear it out, clear your mind, get some boxes, and incrementally put things in those boxes that you're going to give away, donate, or sell. You're moving energy, and that makes space for new thoughts and new ideas and new experiences, because reformation and structuring is not just for the community. It is using online resources, maybe Facebook Marketplace, maybe you join a Facebook group or a YouTube team community or something where it gives you tips on how to, because Virgo loves the specific how to, whether it's Virgo sun, rising, or moon. And this lends itself to your evolution, which lends itself to your well being. And then you feel productive. Then you say, oh my gosh, I got so much more done because I started work at 11 instead of 8 a.m., or vice versa. Or I worked from noon to 7 and I felt I had more energy. Or I learned to use a new application on my computer, and it helped to restructure and reformat how we do work. Now, if you're not working, this is about how can I contribute to the community? How can I utilize the community's offerings and services that can support me? So here in Sedona, there's a community center, and a lot of people who are retired will go to the community center and ask how they can help or assist. And then there's Meals on Wheels, supporting the community. There's food drives. There are places where people go to sew together. They're called knitwits. I love that name. So there's creativity involved, and you don't have to be artistic to be creative. It's just problem solving. So while the sun is in Aquarius, let's Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, let's look for a way you can collaborate with the community in some way, shape, or form to get your needs met and also to service a populace. Because in that, there's going to be a whole lot of juice and energy around. I just did something and it's so fulfilling. And it may deal with helping pets or the Humane Society, or taking up a clothes or food drive in order to collect money for a specific populace. So that's part of your evolution while the sun is in Aquarius, but also it's to utilize technology to help you have vibrational healing. And vibrational healing can be a reading, it can be a type of massage, it can be bioenergetic work. It can be laser light, infrared saunas and therapies. There's so many different things to explore, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. And now's the time to do it. All right, moving on. Libra. This is all about the fifth house in the general charts for you, unless you know exactly where your sun is transiting right now in Aquarius in your chart. And so keywords for the fifth house are creativity, romance, self-expression, children, projects, doing something that for you requires a little bit of risk. And that might mean I'm going to take an art class. I've never done it, or I want to take a writing class, or I'm already underway with producing this thing and now I got to get it out there. So it might be about researching, how do I use technology? Maybe you're filming something, creating a podcast. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you're promoting your wares on or your services on Facebook. And it can also be, I am so dedicated to inspiring the child within. How do I want to bring it out? What do I want to do? Well, it's about originality. So you have a voice, you'll want to use it. It's about how you express. And by how you express, you'll see who and what you're attracting. Now, if you're looking for love and romance, you got to love and romance yourself. Buy that little scarf you wanted, or those earrings, or get your hair done, or whatever. But Aquarius in this house is looking for the unusual, looking for the, I don't want the traditional blah, blah, blah. I need something that'll spark me. So that means getting involved in something that's going on outside your front door. Go team, go. whatever sparks you, whatever topics help you to feel creative is where you need to put your energy and your thoughts. Now, I know a lot of people who have met online in groups, with when we had the pandemic, everything was Zoom. Zoom became like the household word. And so you can continue that and see where are there meetups. Go online and see what kind of meetups would you want to do. Do you want to, my husband just met someone on a business trip, and the guy wants to be a filmmaker and has done a little bit of work in Hollywood, and he wants to write more and then do stand up. And my husband said, well, I was a stand up. I don't think he ever stopped being one. And so they started having conversations. So is that what a coincidence? How about what a coincidence? I have a need the universe provides. See that connection happen for creativity. Hey, Rhonda's here. Hey, Latanja's here, who is a Libran. Okay. So it's all about being more playful, starting new projects, not to be overwhelmed, but organizing in that very beautiful way that you have. In maybe you have a new space, maybe you are redefining what creativity means to you, and lend itself to romance, where it's not just the same old, all right, let's do this every week and we'll go to dinner, but maybe it's you learn how to play. My husband and I will play games that are made for two. Sequence is one of them. Rummy Cube is another. Scrabble, of course. We just have a new one. We just got a new one called I forgot something tiles. Anyway, so it's a different way to unite and reignite that passion for romance. And romance doesn't always mean in the bedroom. It means holding hands. It means doing something different, changing it up. And if you don't have that, then this is the time to explore that, to ask for that, to see yourself in your mind creating that, so that you create a bridge to the opening and allow it to come to you. And go have fun. Scorpio. All right. Sun in Aquarius for you is all about the fourth house. It is the home, the house of home, four walls, the hearth, your roots. It deals a lot with your emotional foundations, but also deep down who you are on the inside. And it relates to the maternal parent. So maybe mom or grandma needs some help, or maybe you are looking at the patterns that have brought you to this point, and maybe you're thinking, I am emulating my mother. Oh, I just recognized that. Wow, that's freaky. I don't want to do that. Or I am emulating my mother, and I'm so happy because it brought me this. So it's not a negative or a positive, it's just a behavior. So look at who you are in the home versus who you are out in the world. What's the difference? Why is it different? What do you need to do? Maybe you need to set up your office at home. Maybe you need to get out of the house and go meet some people. Are you a hermit? I don't think so. Scorpio, sun, rising, and moon. This is about liberation of self. And it can literally mean, we're redoing the air conditioning, system, or the electrical system. Aquarius is all about technology and science. And you may think, oh, I want to put what do they call them? A skylight in the kitchen or in the living room, because we just bought a telescope and we want to see the night sky. And that's one thing I love about Sedona. We are one of 38 cities in the world that is a dark sky community. Actually, I'm in the village of Oak Creek. The village of Oak Creek, Sedona, is a dark sky community. Sedona itself has a lot more lights because of the tourism and the populace. So, which means dark sky community at 10 o'clock at night, there are no porch lights. You can have walkway lights, but nothing that is aimed directly at another house, nothing that is aimed directly up, because when you go outside, you see the galaxy, you see shooting stars. I've seen ETs flying around. Absolutely. They're there. It's no big deal. And I've seen meteors, and I can't even tell you what we just go outside at night and stand there and look up. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So in your mind, Scorpio, I want you to go within and then look up. Who am I on the inside? How can I expand who I am? Aquarius is all about innovation and freedom. So where can you find your freedom? First, in your body. This is your where your mind is located generally. And then in your four walls, where your living space is. What do you need to do to have a nurturing family, to have more comfort and security in your home? And it may be you're thinking of transferring some work out there, and you're bringing some in, and you want to build a little she shed or another room in order to refurbish who you are on the inside. Again, clean out the closets. That's going to help you tremendously. Sagittarius, we are looking at the third house. Now, the third house, a lot of people say, oh, it's all about communication. Well, the communication starts with perceptions and beliefs, because whatever you believe on the inside is what you will create and bring to you on the outside. And how you verbally express and how you learn. Some people with transiting Aquarius over the third house are thinking in new ways, as in, I'm going to get a computer and learn something online. That can be new for some people. Or I'm going to teach something online, because learning and teaching is a big part of the third house. Or I'm going to change my beliefs by taking a course online and then seeing what happens. I have a Bodhi system course. It's for intuition. And a lot of people have been asking lately, what else can we do with intuition? I have a gal who works at a nearby store in town, and she now owns the Bodhi system. And she said, I started dreaming. And I said, had you not dreamt before? And she said, I was having trouble. So someone said to me, oh, ask your angels for some dreams. And then she did. And then she had bigger dreams. And I said, are you using the course? Because using the course is going to open your mind and your heart. And she said, yes, I just started. And the two came in together. And I said, well, anytime there's a coincidence, it's because you have a need the universe provides. Do you see how it's starting to work? You're wanting to expand. You're looking at a course that teaches intuition. And then somebody says to you, oh, go do this. You're drawing to you solutions. And so utilizing intuition, Sag, sun, rising, and moon, in your third house, it's saying, a side definition of that is also siblings. So if you're having difficulty with siblings, or you're grieving something about siblings, or you're wanting to get closer to your siblings, it's important that you find an inner connection to judge less. Aquarius is an anarchist and a freedom thinker, and can be out there doling out food, information, technology, symbolically speaking, and without judgment. So Sagittarius, this is a good time to ponder, what are your perceptions about a certain populace, a political group? Oh, I tried that group, that meditation group, or that art group, or that whatever group, and you were excited and then you were disappointed. So anytime you're disappointed, it means you had an expectation. Now, as long as we are realizing that, yeah, an expectation of, yeah, I expect that when I come home, everything will be in order. My husband won't come at me with a frying pan and hit me in the head. I mean, that's a reasonable expectation. But to have an expectation that someone out in the world, Sag, sun, rising, and moon, and this is for anyone else listening, is going to make you happy by doing what you think they should do, it's going to lead to disappointment. It just will. So be curious. Start to think new ideas, start to read different types of books or magazines, network, have insights, share those insights, and communicate them in positive, optimistic ways. Be someone's opportunity. And then as you network, you're going to start to grow something, whatever it is that you're focused on. And that's exciting. Okay. Capricorn, we are looking at when the sun is in Aquarius for you, and it happens every year, folks, because the sun, constellations, sun, which is our star, and the sun will shine a light on different constellations as they rotate. And so here we are looking at your second house, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. And the second house deals with values, security, income, finances, your resources. And yeah, it's about how you make your money, how you want to make your money, but it's what you truly value about yourself. And if you value independence, Aquarius, Uranus, then this is the time to really put into action what you know you are worth. That means to raise your prices if you are, or your fees. If you are an entrepreneur, or you can ask for a raise if you are working for someone, or look for a different position within that company, or a different position altogether if you're looking to grow your business. And this is going to come with innovation and your unique ideology about prosperity, not, oh, I missed it, or I'm not smart enough, or all that stuff is going to, put you at the back of the line. And so be resourceful with technology. Learn how to research things online. Learn how to use, I'm a Capricorn rising, and I'm looking for different types of publishing opportunities because I have a series of historical fiction fantasy books. And I just found 3 places online just by joining one group, a writer's group on Facebook, and someone posted something and I went to that link and I started researching. And then I remember a writer from another group saying, oh, this place. And I went to that place and I started researching now. So I am looking at how to get my books out there in the best possible way for me, and not just Kindle, because there's many ways to do it. And what leads up to that? The editing. Yes, I have an editor, but I'm looking for now beta readers. And so where do I find those? And I put that out to the universe. And I was like, please show me where I could find some beta readers. And I went into a library and I asked them. Didn't work out. And I thought, okay. So I just kept putting it out there that the beta readers are coming. And then when I saw this post 3 weeks later in the writers group that I suddenly joined, there was, it's all about beta readers. So you see how your needs can be met, and be resourceful with technology. Think about it coming to you, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. And you really have to prioritize your tasks right now. You're good at that. So don't overload and start taking on other people's problems. Put that aside for a while and say, okay, I am dedicated, in 1 hour a day, I'm going to do this. And then the next hour a day, I'm going to do that. And eventually you get there. Okay. This is fun. And also know that your income can change based on your belief in what you value for yourself. People say, oh, I'll give you a discount. That's discounting your services and your worth. Call it a reward savings instead of a discount. I learned that from Kendall Summerhawk, a business coach, spiritual business coach. Call it a new pricing or family pricing, but don't use the word discount. It's just not going to serve you any longer. Okay. And be unique, be yourself, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. And it's okay to be seen. Aquarius is all about you, your sign. Happy birthday to all Aquarians coming up. And if you're an Aquarius rising sign, we're looking at the first house for you in the general charts. It's all about personal growth. Now, the first house deals with individuality, body parts, so maybe what would a Uranus body part reflect? Something eclectic, unusual, something sudden. Maybe you're having an issue with your ankles or parts of your feet, or which is more a Pisces thing, but it can also lend itself to I'm afraid to move forward. But we're looking at your physical form as it relates to childhood trauma. Now, childhood trauma doesn't mean you were thrown out of a building or you were hit repeatedly. It can, and I'm sad if that's true, but it can also mean how you perceived something. And you might have perceived being a child as not safe or so safe and you didn't want to leave it. And then you had to grow up and be in the world and you were scared to death of, the bully at school, and you never told anybody and you carry it with you. So whatever childhood trauma comes up during this conversation or in the conversation in your mind or in the conversation that you have with other people, like, oh yeah, I don't do that because when I was 7, this is what happened to me. And you keep going back to that trauma. What's the narrative? What is the thing that is stopping you? It's the repeat button. So we're going to stop that. And we're going to look for being authentic. We're going to look for being a visionary. What do you envision? You have to create the bridge to the future that you see and feel those feelings, because when you do that, when your mind envisions what you want and your heart feels it as if you already have it, you literally collapse time and space. That is a scientific phenomenon that is true. So when you do that repeatedly, like you do 10 minutes of a meditation and you see yourself being vibrant, healthy, attracting wealth, health, passion, purpose, whatever it is you're hoping to achieve, to be independent. And then suddenly you get that phone call or you bump into somebody or an old friend comes back or someone mentions something and you go, oh, aha. That's how it's going to come. So your rebirth is at hand. And it's all about your personal power and your re-evolution as an individual. So Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, take the time to know what stops you. And sometimes you may not know. You just feel constricted. You can't breathe. You have allergies. You have physical ailments. What is your body saying to you? Do a meditation and talk to that part of your body and saying, what is the fear about? And you clear away. There's anger. And beneath the anger is sadness. So you want to look at what is frustrating you, and then what is the sadness about, and then what is the core. Now, we don't have to go into years of therapy to do this, because then if you start talking about it, what do you create? Whatever you're focused on is what you're going to bring. So we don't want to have more trauma. What we want to create is a resolution and through revolution and revolutionary thinking. I'm going to go do a meditation, talk to my inner child. I'm going to do some writing exercises, talk to my inner child. How are you feeling? I know it's scary. I'm right there with you. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, this. But what's the best that can happen? That's where we want to go. And then go do something fun. Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. You need grounding. You need water. You need something electrifying. Aquarius and Uranus also represent music. So singing, going to listen to music, listening to a certain type of music that puts you in that mood of, I can create my vision. I can make it real. I can dream it into being. Speaking of that, we're moving on to Pisces. And Pisces, this is all about the 12th house for you. And the 12th house is where when Aquarius highlights this area of your chart, it's about your psyche, your limitations, yes, what you believe is true, what you don't know that you don't know. And it's about reflection, spirituality. It's about reconnecting with your divine self. It's about knowing that you have power and that if you have anything that scares you or holds you back, or if you have dreams, recurring dreams that are beautiful and you think, oh, I wish I were out there or doing that thing, stay with the feeling. When you have a dream, an actual sleeping dream, you can have a daydream, which is just as powerful. But when you have a sleeping dream, this is the universal sign for sleep. When you have a sleeping dream and you wake up with I was just telling a client this the other day, who is having more and more powerful dreams. When you wake up with the feeling of your dream, it wasn't just some fanciful thing. You were just having an experience. Now, it could have been with your higher inner being, with passed on loved ones, with your star seed, with, in any dimension across time and space, because your awareness leaves your body when you sleep for a little rest and relaxation, and you have a reset. But what do you wake up with? That felt so real. Okay, then write it down. Write down what that feeling is. Was it a release of something? Was it an indication? Were you being given information and guidance? Were you being shown your own fear so that you could release it? We're going to look at the circle that you might go in with your limitations. And also, because this is an Aquarius Uranus energy, it's going to be gotten through unusual techniques. So you might be seeking out a rebirthing technique, or perhaps it's bioenergetic feedback technique. There's so many techniques you can look at that are frequency and vibrational in their structure. Even network, or they call it network spinal analysis chiropractic. It's energy work, basically. The adjustments are not so much physical anymore, that can literally deteriorate over time your body and your structure, but energy work. So when you are dreaming something while you're awake, what does it feel like? And then are you applying, practically speaking, now with Uranus, you can apply it through technology, through music, through film, through fashion, through photography. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I would like to be a photographer, but in this age of AI, it's like, what use is that? Okay, listen to the self-defeatist conversation that your head is having. Everyone is here to have their own reality. That's why you came to this earth. You wanted to feel, touch, taste, experience 3D. So it's your reality. If you say to me, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon, my favorite color is purple, and I say, me too, it's not going to be the same purple ever with anyone, ever, 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 ever. Because you are no one like no one else on this planet. And that uniqueness is being shown to you through dreams, through your thoughts, through your limitations, and through spiritual divination. How can you expand? Do you want to maybe you're in a spiritual practice, but you feel like too responsible. What if I harm? What if I don't give enough? What if it's the opposite? What if you're a very hard business worker and you're just exhausted and you're thinking there's got to be a better way? And someone says, well, have you meditated? Or what do you believe? What's your belief system? Because the dreams and the awakening that you're going to have while the sun is in Aquarius can be quite liberating. And it's like a renewed strength through solitude, reflection, meditation, and the consideration of I am more than just a body, and that my mind can alter my reality. What do you think about that, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon? I would say go dream. Okay, let me check in with folks here. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Rhonda. Love it. Yes, your needs are met. It is a symbiosis. And Christy, hello, hun. Pisces in the house. Woohoo. All right. Yes. And for someone who does a spiritual practice, now is the time to look at how to innovate through technology, doing more work online, doing readings through Zoom, doing maybe it's updating your computer in the general you, but also Christy. So look at, if you're a Pisces sun, rising, or moon, how can you take what you do and then have it translated, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whether it's healing self or others. It's time to move your energy. And I have to show you this for the people who haven't seen this. When I used to do whole life expos, and I did intuitive readings all day long, I walked out into the main hall. It was like a Jacob Javits kind of center. I don't even remember if it was that or anyway, it was big. And there was all new kiosks, and people were selling their wares or their spiritual services. And I saw this big machine. Okay, big machine. And people were lined up. And I was like, what's that? And they said, it takes a picture of your aura. Well, I already knew what I looked like because I'm magenta, and magenta white with a lot of a fire orange for healing. And so I thought, well, I'm going to do this and see if they are scamming people or if they have something that's amazing that I can utilize for myself and my clients. And so there's a hand plate, and I asked them to clean it, which they had a little spray bottle, and they cleaned it. And I just got rid of all the people I had read that day, moved my energy, put my hand on the plate, and I smiled, kind of a smile. And this is the image. So you'll see it's got a glare on it. You know what? Let me get rid of this because we're done here. This is me. I've got downloads. My heart is open, fire orange, magenta. I'm evenly balanced. There's faces up there too. I don't know if you can see them. Anyway, that's me when I am feeling, it's my own face. When I am connected. And then I did another one a few months later when I was moving cross country, and it was crazy. And I was frantic, and I was like in my head all the time. And that's like my Jimi Hendrix look. Okay. My heart is closed of all this stuff and pressure on the top of my head and anger. I was very frustrated. You can see the red on the side. I was very frustrated because I didn't want to get things wrong. Things weren't always working right. So your aura is a vibration that shows what you look like. And a lot of times we take for granted that we are energetic beings. So I want you to be present in the fact that if you're feeling crappy, feel crappy. Don't walk around with a smile on your face when you're not, because that contradiction is going to come back at you. I don't mean in a harmful way. It's just like you didn't get the phone call back. They were supposed to stop by. They didn't. The mechanic said they'd be done at 2. It's now 5. It's like those little things. You're creating your world. There are no victims on this planet. It looks like there are. And especially when children or pets or animals are involved, it looks like there are. Take away age and just look at the vibration. It is our duty to be as present as possible so that we can put compassion and love into the world. But if we're having a bad moment, okay, have it. But we don't want to keep talking about it, because then it becomes a therapy session that lasts 10 years and nothing has changed. And then that's the frequency you're putting into the world. I don't mean 100% all the time. I look to smooth out wrinkles in readings, and I'll see all the wonderful things that a person is, and I go right for, that thing that you keep repeating. Let's heal that. Let's put an attention on that so, you can shore up the rest of your resources and your energy and know that you are a divine being. You're an extension of light who happens to have a body. So we take care of our biology. We take care of our biology because when we do, we can lift ourselves up more easily. Then we're not so cranky or frustrated. Then we have more patience. Then we become someone's opportunity instead of a challenge. Then we attract more opportunities instead of being challenged. So think about that as the sun enters into Aquarius. And yeah, I'll be here next week so we can talk more about it. It is the 23rd that I will not be here. I'm out of the office. And during this time between this whole week, if you're watching this in a replay, in this present moment, do your absolute best to be who you are, and then find tiny little moments where you can minimize the woe, the victim's voice, and say, I know how you feel. Would we like a cup of tea now? What's one thing that makes us feel so, that song, I love that song. I'm going to put that song on. And then you grumble a little bit. It's like, and they still didn't call me back. And then you say, oh, but that's song. So you're creating little moments, a little bridge that takes you from here to there. And then the more you do that, eventually you're back to your center. This morning, a miracle occurred. I mean, every day that I wake up, it's a miracle. Every day that I dream, it's a miracle. I have never seen a Western bluebird here, but we have a lot of them. And last month, there was all these birds in the tree next door neighbor had this tree and all the leaves are off and the birds are in there. I was like, there's like 50 of them just facing the same direction. I thought, well, that's weird. I love that. What is that? And we have a bird bath and we get a lot of finches and sparrows. And every once in a while, this big honking raven comes. I call him Jake and he'll look me right in the eye and caw. And I'll go ahead, have at it. And the bird bath is only about that wide. And so it's iced over. So I'll go outside in the morning and I'll pour warm water on it to melt it. And then the birds will come when it warms up. And then we started to get these Western bluebirds. And it's in the shadow, so you can't really see the blue. So I thought, what kind of birds are those? I've never seen those before. And then many of them would come at once. It'd be 16 I counted once. My husband counted 18 in this little thing, and they're all in the water, drinking and whatever. And then they would fly away. And suddenly I saw this blue I had never seen on a bird before. And I thought, what? So I got a little card at the local ranger station. It tells you what kind of birds are here in Arizona. And I've been thinking about them, and I'll go outside and I'll whistle to them. The theme in The Dark Knight from Game of Thrones. I don't know why that song came to my head, but that's what I would whistle. I'll go outside, I'll just whistle that, and I'll pour the water in and I walk away, shut the door, and they know they're safe, and they come and they do the thing. Well, today I went this morning, it's like, I don't know, 36 degrees. I went outside, I warmed up the thing, and I started whistling. The thing had a big block of ice in it, and it was floating around. And I just started whistling. And the sun is partially on this bird bath. And as I'm pouring and whistling, one of the Western bluebirds landed right there, looked right at me, took a drink, and then flew away. And there I was, stunned. I am this far away from the bird. I'm stunned. And I thought, I didn't have a camera. Who do I tell? Well, I'm telling you, it was the most magnificent moment where I bonded with a Western bluebird, looked right at me while I was whistling as I was pouring the water. It was such a beautiful nature moment. Made me want to cry. Anyway, I hope you have many moments like that and more. I will see you next week. Thank you for being here, folks. As always, I wish you peace, and go ahead and be present. For how long? Well, I don't know. It's always now. So you tell me. See you next time.